welcome to the Talk Right podcast. I'm your late host, Wayne Stinnett. Tonight we got a really cool show, what we're calling, what was it again?
Hot Tropics.
Hot Tropics. What little play on words there. About once every 3 or 4 months, we're going to have just a kind of a round robin of writers, and we're calling it Hot Tropics. So, Nick, why don't you, well, no, we're not going to Nick's not going to introduce everybody. That's too much time. We'll just go around, and Nick, you introduce yourself and what books,
well, hi,
what books do you write?
I'm the Talk Right podcast co-host, Nick Sullivan. A little contest for those watching. Can you tell which of us live in the North and which don't? It has something to do with red flannel. Well, actually, but Stewart's got a nice double layer there, and he's in Indianapolis. So we're going to pretend he's got red flannel on him. But I'm Nick Sullivan, narrator and author. And let's continue around the circle, which might be different for everyone. So Wayne, why don't you pick the next person? I'll pick the next person. Don, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you at?
You pick the next person. I'm doing things on the computer.
Okay. Don Rich.
That's why you always do the introductions, Nick.
I know,
as soon as I turn it over to you,
our Brady bunch
I got stuff to do
different.
on here.
Don Rich, where are you right now?
Another book right now.
Hey, I'm Don Rich. I'm just west of Charlottesville, and I've got John Cunningham on my screen. Go ahead, John.
Oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, I am. I'm not in Key West, as you can tell here. I'm up in Northern Virginia, in my writing barn in Loudoun County. And yeah, we had a little bit of snow today, as did Don down in Southern Virginia. So just hanging out. I will lose that.
Let's go to Armand Rosamilia. I'm looking at the Jaws. I love that shirt.
One of about 10. I'm in cold 52-degree Jacksonville, Florida, wearing shorts and a t-shirt as usual. But I do not miss that Jersey snow and that weather up there. That's why I moved out here 20 years ago.
Stewart Matthews. You, I believe, are in Indy.
Yeah, that's the rumor. You know, if any of the feds ask, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm in Indianapolis. It's very cold. It was very warm a week ago, warm enough that I could walk around in my garage with just my shorts on. It was really nice. And then when I went outside, you know, I, of course, took those off, and because you know I'm very free. You know, my neighbors love it. So anyway, yes, that's where I am.
And finally, Nicholas Harvey. I can tell you're somewhere warm.
Yeah, you made me follow shortlist, Stewart. Thank you. I'm in Key Largo, yeah, where we've just had a cold front, which got it down into mid-70s. So I would have pointed it out the window, but it's just got dark outside. Yeah, I live here with my wife, Cheryl, and I'm the author of the A.J. Bailey Adventure Series and the Nora Summer Caribbean Suspense Series.
Awesome. Well, quickly, we're gonna talk just a little bit about weather, because I went from 74 to 17, driving from my original home in Tennessee up here to New Jersey, and threaded the needle between two giant systems. I went from 74 and tornado warnings to sub-zero temperatures and 1 to 3 inches down there in Tennessee, which is enough to bring everything to a halt. But I understand that doesn't compare to what Don Rich has been putting up with.
Yeah, we had 10 inches here just west of Charlottesville, and it was in the middle 60s yesterday, and tonight it's going to be 10 degrees.
Oh boy. And Nicholas Harvey, you're in the 70s again. I just want to clarify that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it may dip into the high 60s tonight, but certainly not. Yeah, don't have to put long pants on.
Well, before we knock at your door about 3 a.m., it's me.
Yeah, I bet snowshoes going off right now.
Oh, I bet if you can get there.
Well, I was waiting for Stephen Becker to join us. He was supposed to be with us, but John Cunningham, I'll focus on you. Are you aware of the bit of Key West news with the southernmost point buoy?
Oh yeah, no, I saw friend sent me pictures of that on New Year's Day. I haven't heard if they busted the two morons, as I called them, who set it afire. But I think at 3 a.m. or something, two guys are sitting by the southernmost buoy taking pictures, and they drag a Christmas tree there, lit it up, and burned the paint. I mean, there's only so much you can do to a concrete buoy, but they managed to screw the paint up anyway, and hopefully they will get to see the inside of the Key West jail. It's always a good.
Well, I did find the latest on it. Police confirmed Monday that they know the identities of the two men in the video, but are withholding that until they can, so they don't compromise
Till they
their
arrest them.
investigation.
Good. Good.
Well, I feel that's unfair because, when you're in Key West, where are you supposed to dispose a Christmas tree? Just not, what are they supposed to do?
I don't know about setting them on fire at the southernmost.
How many live webcams are there on the southernmost point?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I mean, these guys should be arrested just for being stupid.
They wanted to be caught,
You can't go around arresting people for being stupid. There's not enough jail room.
I know.
That would be one way to control the street traffic in Key West, though. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
John, when are you going to grow a beard?
Me?
Yeah, look around you.
I know.
Yeah, you're the only person here without man hair.
Well, I shaved this morning. I had about 4 days of growth, and I was thinking about doing it, but too damn itchy. I don't know why you guys put up with that stuff.
You got to get through the itchy phase.
Yeah, you get past
Oh,
the itch.
yeah. Once you're past it, it's smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm.
I shaved in August, and usually by 2 days after I shave, the itchy part's gone.
Wayne, you should look like me because you used to shave every time you published a new book, which is pretty much, it seems like twice a week
No,
right now.
that's
The,
true.
well, the last book was August. Well, no, the two recent ones, but I don't shave for the winter books. This keeps me warm.
I hear you.
I don't live in the Keys. I just write about the Keys
Now, do you shave when it goes to the editor, or do you shave when it's released?
when it's released. I'll
Okay.
shave again when Elusive Charities released on May 1st. That's my next shave. But then it'll be probably around this long.
Nice.
And you had a heck of a pre-sale release today.
Saturday.
Well, no, Saturday it went on pre-sale. But
That was
it did pretty
99
good.
cents on Apple Books, right?
And
99 cents everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
sweet.
this is my first attempt at doing a pre-order wide, and so far Apple is 10% of what Amazon sales are. So if it maintains that, it should be a USA Today bestseller come July 12th.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great. Congrats.
That would be great.
At least I'm crossing my fingers, and I'm hoping we can still get Graceless there. I mean, we're over 2,000 on Amazon, only 9 on Apple, but we need to push it a little bit more. As a matter of fact, that's why I gathered all you guys here. You see what I'm doing? You're now on the spot. You have to push Graceless.
And several of the people here who were not involved with Graceless, I believe, are talking about working on a new Tropical Authors novella.
Yeah,
We
Don
are,
and
we are.
Armand, you're both talking about it, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking in a couple days and with Nick and kind of throwing some things together. And I have an idea for how it opens. So I pre-ordered Graceless, but I also went ahead and I also got a copy and read it and absolutely loved it, and immediately started buying more books from the 4 authors that were in it because I just love the characters. And an idea came to me, so I'm going to pitch it to Don and to Mac Fortner and to Kirk Jockle, and the 4 of us are going to do something similar coming up.
That sounds like a great combo. I
Well,
like
where are your 4 characters located?
Well, that's one of the things we're going to work at, because my character's in Jacksonville Beach. But the idea I have that I'm going to pitch to them will kind of like what you guys did. It'll take us all over wherever we need to go with the main plot.
And
Kirk
Don,
and
yours is in the Outer Banks, right?
Kirk and I, mine's on Eastern Shore of Virginia at the tip.
Okay.
But Kirk and I have been talking about bouncing characters back and forth because his character is out of the Navy and spent a lot of time in Norfolk. And so, and Norfolk being just across the bridge from the Eastern Shore, from where my characters hang out at Mallard Cove Marina.
And that Bay Bridge is just amazing. I've only been over it a few times, but one of those times was the only time I saw one of the Navy's gigantic, or the Marines, I guess, gigantic hovercraft. I could hear it out the window. I'm like, what is that? And I looked down and this monster is going underneath the bridge.
Oh, I saw some pictures today from the bridge and the Chesapeake Bay from the system that came through. It was almost impassable. The water and the waves that were coming up and the spray that was just going sideways. It was incredible.
Oh, I bet.
Wow.
We were getting steady 30-mile-per-hour winds last night and gusts up to 40. So it was blowing branches off of trees. Somebody said there was a tree down not far from the house.
I've got one of my neighbors fell against my office this morning.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that'll wake you
That's
up.
not good. Damage?
No, just irritation.
Is your neighbor okay? Is your neighbor okay?
Not if I can catch him.
Well, he fell against your house. He shouldn't be hard to find. Anyway, are you currently entombed in ice, Don? What's going on out there, man?
Oh, it'll be icing tonight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
sweet, dude.
no, I mean it was just that heavy, nasty cardiac snow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not a lot of fun to shovel.
Definitely screwed me up. I was supposed to fly to Key West yesterday, and my wife's best friend up here in Virginia was going to drive with her and our two dogs, Cat and Bird, down to Key West, take their time for a few days, and then her son got COVID, so she had to bail. So then I reluctantly said, all right, I'll drive down. We'll leave tomorrow, this morning. Yeah, I don't think so. I think I-95 has been shut down from DC to Richmond like all day. So yeah,
Oh, man.
glad I'm not sitting in the car.
Mm.
And a lot of flights.
I used to drive out of Richmond for Metromont, building those big parking garages, concrete. And man, when it snowed there, it just shuts everything down.
Yeah. They don't people around here really don't know how to drive in the snow very well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to, since we got everybody here, everyone give me just a quick description of what you're working on currently. If you have a release coming out, tell me about that. If you've just fired up a new novel, tell us what you are allowed to. But I'd love to just quickly go through that. Armand, I know you've got one coming out pretty soon, and I think it's the starter of a new series?
Yep, this is a brand new First Coast thriller series. It ties into my Dirty Deeds series. It's set in the same world, so you see a couple of the cameo characters back and forth in both series. So we have 6-book series. I'm doing rapid release. January 15th, February 15th, March 15th is the first 3 books, and then every 3 months after that for the last 3 books. And it's more in line with what you guys are doing. It's not a tropical book, but there are boats. It's about an ex-cop who's a repo man who gets sick every time he steps onto the water, and he has to go out and repo some cartel speedboats. Is basically how it more or less starts, and it's set here in Jacksonville and especially Jacksonville Beach area. So, like I said, it ties in with some of the other stuff that I've been doing, and I'm real hopeful. I've gotten a lot of pre-orders on it, and it's probably going to be my best release I've had in probably about 5 or 6 years.
We're
That sounds
slowly
vaguely
bringing
familiar,
you-
doesn't it, Stewart?
Well, Well, Armand, I think, has a bit more. It sounds very different. In fact, aside from name, I think that it looks really interesting. I want to see it, man. I do.
Appreciate it.
We're going to bring you over from the horror side here.
Oh,
In
I'm,
fact,
I'm
Yeah,
firmly
buddy.
going over from the. I'm about done after 30 years of the horror side.
I would point out that you're wearing a transitional T-shirt with a maritime creature
Right,
feature on you
lit
there.
in
That's
both
right.
worlds right there. Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good eye, Nick.
Don, I loved Coastal Curse. I put it in my newsletter recently. But you've got something I think you're well into your next one, right?
I am. I'm Coastal Jury. A friend of mine got picked for the grand jury on the western side of Virginia, and I started. She was telling me some things that are involved with it, and she can't tell me a lot because it's ultra secret. And so that gave me the idea to start with this one. What happens when somebody becomes a grand juror and accidentally lets a bad person know about it? And so anyway, that's Coastal Jury, and and if you know, and you guys know my books. There's always going to be fishing. There's always going to be drinking. There's always going to be boats, and then there's the plot. And so
That's not the
Coastal
plot?
Jury. And I'm going to. I was actually going to put it out in late January, and but now I'm putting it off because I don't want to commit suicide. I'm putting it off until several weeks after Graceless. So.
Don, we want you to live too. I'm just gonna speak up for everybody. Since nobody's saying anything.
He killed all of us.
We're all rooting for you,
I
buddy.
know. We're all dead.
Yeah,
You gotta get through this rough part.
Payback's your hell, baby.
Hey, worked.
I thought my death was very tasteful, Don. By the way.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I didn't even see my death. Oh my God. Oh man. I gotta read that.
Well, Stewart, since you're talking and since you're next in my lineup of pictures here,
Oh.
I loved Repo Man, and maybe I'm a little biased having narrated it, but
Yes.
what do you have next on the horizon?
Well, I'm trying to keep in with my theme of writing mysteries for people who really tried to apply themselves, but still flunked out of Sunday school. So this next one I have is, same character, Critty Marston, who and I don't know, Armand, if you picked up on it earlier, Wayne was alluding to the Repo Man part. So
When I saw your cover came out, I immediately messaged you like, "Holy crap! Somebody else is writing this book, and I just finished my first one." But
they
figured
sound
out-
very different. They sound
Yeah,
very
they're
different.
very
I say.
different, which is good. Yeah.
Yes, title aside. But so this next one follows that same guy, Critty Marston, who stylizes himself as kind of a Ronin. He's a knight errant. He fights for the little guy. It's very John D. McDonald. I'm trying to keep it funny and exciting, and there's of course lots of boats, and it's in Miami, so there's a stripper or two. There's some cocaine, I'm sure, somewhere. There are old retirees. It's all that. It's all that and more. And this is the sequel to it. I'm very excited about it. Should be coming out later this spring, I think.
Mhm.
Probably around March, somewhere around there, end of March, maybe early April. I was supposed to actually turn it in today to my editor, and I didn't because it's not done. So you guys know
Good
how that is,
reason.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, and Wayne and Stewart, will we see more of DJ Martin and I'm blanking on the other guy.
Jerry Snyder.
Jerry Snyder, thank you.
Yeah, we will.
You'll
sometime this year.
definitely be seeing more of DJ Martin.
Oh yeah. Wayne's got that.
Towards the end of Lost Charity.
Yeah.
I saw a spark there between Charity and DJ, so he may appear in a Charity book also.
So basically, between now and when I release that next book, I'm gonna have to read like 10 of Wayne's books to get caught up on my own character to know what's
Or
going
at least find on page DJ and find on page Jimmy. John, what about? Now, I've seen some marvelous graphics of your books with some bookstagram action there with various items around them. Very. Uh-oh, we lost somebody. What happened?
Uh-oh.
Armand.
Armand.
Armand
Yeah,
is gone.
so
All right.
Oh,
I've had a busy kind of fall here. I did had a short film in the Key West Film Festival. It was just in November. That was fun. It was called Flight to Life. It was a 6-minute film. If anybody's interested, they could see it on YouTube under my name, Flight to Life. It was a lot of
I
fun.
watched that. It's very, very dramatic.
I
It's
did
really
too.
cool.
It's very well done.
Thank
The
you.
girl is amazing.
A lot of
And
fun.
I saw
Well,
you in there too, even with the
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran out of extras. We had to use my boat and me, and I bought outfits for the guys. We had some guns and this and that. It was kind of fun. But yeah, the main character in that is a guy named David Wegman, who's actually a very famous painter, an interesting guy. I'd never done any acting before. The little girl was my kind of screenwriting partner's daughter. So it was a lot of fun. So that just came out in November. It was a jury award nominee in that festival. We're going to submit it to some more festivals too. I'll add that book number 6 of the 9 Buck Riley stories or adventure stories just came out in Audible. So the rest are getting done. Book 10 is well on its way and will be out this spring. And I'm excited about Grace's coming out this month. That it's been a long time coming. And to your point, guys, we need to push it. It's a little bit of a lull. It was announced so long ago, but it was a fun interview that we did. The 4 of us participated in that interview. I guess it was a podcast, whatever we want to call it, but the 4 of us sitting around chit-chatting about it. Came out great. And Nicholas Harvey posted that recently. So it's been busy, but yeah, I'm excited to get Buck Riley 10 in the can.
Buck Riley number 10. Where's that going to take us?
Well, that's really an all Key West story for the most part. So
Oh, cool.
it's pretty fun. It's it's been taking me a lot of time because there's a ton of research. It goes back to when Key West was first purchased by John Simonton back in 1822. So it's funny that they're having the 200-year anniversary of that event this year. And a lot of stuff going on in Key West, but just kind of getting into the history and the details, and there's a lot of good material back there, and so it's going to be
Oh,
fun.
hell yeah.
Can I ask who he purchased it from in 1822?
Yeah, a guy named Salas who was awarded a land grant from from the King of Spain for whatever work he had done on behalf of the Spaniards, because it was still Spanish territory at that point. So it's kind of a funny story. They call it the first land scam in Florida. He sold it to Whitehead, and he also sold it to 2 other people. So Whitehead goes down there and tries to call it home and starts getting big ideas, gets the Navy in and this and that. Other guys showed up with the same ideas, and they had a little little squabble over that. So Key West, all the way back to its original time, was a pissing match over land. So kind of funny.
Cool. Hey, Nick Sullivan, what are you working on?
Right now, I'm texting Wayne Stinnett to let Armand in, but now I don't have to because there we go.
Let Armand in.
Yeah.
It's all this
I think
all this
Don has
bad
bailed
weather.
him off again.
You
Drop
lost
down
your
to
position though, Armand. You got to be
Yeah.
down at the bottom now.
drop down to 51 degrees here in Jacksonville, and the internet.
Everything went to hell.
The temperature, it plays havoc with
Temperature drops,
5G. Yeah. Well, my fellow Nick has just asked me what I'm up to. I'm just coming off of, we have Angels of the Deep, which Nicholas Harvey came up with an idea to put out a Christmas novella, and that was a ton of fun. And I've got some audiobook narrator / reviewers who are tearing through it. Already 2 of them have put up some reviews, and we got 2 more coming in. My big news is my longest book yet, Deep Focus, which I've kind of delved into some of my acting and film and TV background to come up with a storyline for Boone and Emily. Deep
Anybody's
Focus
head
comes
split.
out on January 10th. And then, of course, we got Graceless on Feb 1st. So there's a lot on the plate.
I got an early
Oh.
copy of that and I am digging it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, he called me today and kind of wondering about Boone taking his capoeira against Jesse's Krav Maga. And I was like, I love my Boone guy, but I think he would do his
sparring,
best.
not as in real battle to the death or anything.
I know, but Krav Maga is hard to spar with, dude. Because
Well,
it's
it
really
is to
meant
the death.
destroy you. Yeah, I think Boone would spend his entire fight just trying to keep away from Jesse, and it would not end well. Jesse's got tons of real combat, and Boone's got some moves. And
he's got a little bit of a height advantage too, and probably a reach advantage.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got the reach advantage. I mean, he's somebody
6'4".
calls him a gibbon in deep focus. I mean, he's got those long arms too. But you got to have mass. So that's what I'm up to. Those three things. And
so
Eric
Nick,
Stone's
what do you got going
latest
on?
Waters book, I'll be narrating Eric Stone's book coming out soon.
Oh, excellent. I'm looking forward to his next one. Nick, what are you up to?
I am busy. We've Half Moon Bay in the AJ series come out in December, and it was a great launch. Did really well. So the next one is on pre-order for that, which is Rex of Key Largo. Finally, I'm taking AJ off of the Cayman Islands and to somewhere I kind of know a little bit about here in Key Largo. Thought it'd be fun to have a story that ran around the various wrecks here, which I've spent quite a bit of time in. So that's happening. I'm actually writing Stolen Summer, which is book 2 of the Nora Summer series, which I think, Wayne, you just read book 1 in that series with Nora.
Excellent read.
Thank you. Yeah. So she's a lot of fun to write, and I write it in first person because, you know, I'm a Norwegian 19-year-old. And
a Norwegian 19-year-old girl.
Yeah, blonde, 5'9" girl. So yeah, it's a ton of fun to write her, and so I'm enjoying that. And the follow-up to Graceless, Timeless, is in the. We've kind of leaked that out that we've got that going on. So there's a couple of chapters out to you guys. Has anybody read those 2 chapters yet?
I started to, and I realized I wanted it in PDF so I could put it on my phone. So I just got back.
You're killing
on my list right here is PDF it and put it on your phone so I can read it every night.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to box set the first 3 in the AJ series and bring that out at some point later this month. I think it's time to do a box set to intro into the series. And then my narrator, Kim Breton, who is incredible, but she is incredibly busy, is catching up through the AJ series. And so she has finished Solomon's Well, which is book 5, I think, and which is probably one of my favorite books in the whole series. And so I've got to listen through it, and that should come out in the month of January here. So yeah, plenty going on.
Well, Nick, I'll just offer, while AJ's doing Rex of, Key Largo, if she needs some downtime, Bucket would have to go around Key West a little bit.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no kidding. So she's got to come down and dive the Vandenberg too, right? Buck will help her with that.
We should point out to the viewers of this podcast, ever since Graceless, John Cunningham has been trying to get his butt to score with all of our female characters, and we're doing our best to keep them safe.
And Timeless is going to be Emily, AJ, Nora, and Charity, and Buck.
Buck's gonna think that's really good in theory.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep it PG, but yeah.
I'm taking a page from last year, and I'm continuing to write 2 books at a time. It worked so well last year. I mean, at one point I was writing for about 3 weeks. I had 5 projects going between Graceless and Wayward Sons, Cayo Costa Breeze, Lost Charity and Steady as She Goes. And so this year, I've already got Man Overboard. The 23rd book in the Jesse series is on pre-order, and pre-order will start the 1st of February for Elusive Charity. Elusive Charity is already over 20,000 words, and I'm about 10 or 15,000 in the Jesse book, but it doesn't come out until July. So I got a lot more time. So I'm putting my priority into the charity book and writing a little bit on the Jesse book on the side. And then when Timeless comes along, I'll jump in there and be writing 3.
So what you're saying is you have room for like 2 more projects right now.
Grass don't grow on a busy street.
Do you remember what your boat looks like?
Well, I'm trying to get a new office closer because I moved my boat and my office. So I no longer have the view I had, and my boat was right there at the marina where my office was, but now my office is closer to home and my boat is farther away. So I'm trying to locate some office space downtown Beaufort and move there so I can see my boat from time to time.
Have you ever thought about just putting your office in your boat? You know, just going down there, dude, run in the cockpit.
I think it might be a really good idea, except for there's really not a whole lot of room. And I like to walk around when I'm thinking, and in the boat, I mean, it's 4 steps from the companionway to the master stateroom.
Yeah, but you know, potentially there's a lot of room to swim, you know, Wayne.
Yeah. And it would be a hell of a tax write-off. I could write off the boat.
Hey.
Yeah, but you get waked out every 5 minutes. When we did the chat with the 4 of us on Graceless,
I'm glad that didn't end up on the video.
It was funny,
I mean,
man.
that boat was rocking literally. I mean, it must have been a big trawler that went by. It's a no wake zone, and
just full throttle.
The shadows kept moving around so much. Yeah.
Wayne's sitting there and he's feeling it, rocking like crazy. But in the picture, everything's going with him. There's no indication that the boat's rocking at all.
Except the light going back and forth
through the
across.
window, going
That
back
would have been
and forth
amazing
like
to
this,
watch.
like a clock. It was brilliant.
Oh,
But that's where I'm at.
Well, let's see.
I got a question.
Yes.
Question for you guys. And I saw somebody was asking this earlier. Where are you getting your plot ideas? I mean, Carl Hyacin, they asked him, where do you get all these wild ideas? He said, it's simple. I work for the Miami Herald. Read it.
yeah.
All he's got to do is open the Miami Herald page and look for Florida Man, and right there's your plot.
There it is.
But
So
no,
where do you guys get yours?
I get my plot ideas the same way. They come right out of the news. In Rising Thunder, the ghoul killer who was collecting organs and selling them on the black market. He's collecting them from live people, selling them on the black market. That actually took place in the 80s down in Indonesia quite a bit. And the flat tire killer, that was straight out of Palm Beach back in the 50s. But yeah, the news stories, there's so much out there that great fodder for fiction.
I honestly, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you for sure where any of my plot ideas come from. I mean, it's a lot of, I think, just detritus and like, you know how a dung beetle picks up a piece of poop and keeps rolling it, until it gets bigger and bigger. It's like I get pieces of plot like that. You know what I mean? It just snowballs in my head. Like I think this latest one I wrote after I watched this YouTube video on crew abandonment, which I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with, but it's like commercial vessels, freighters. When they get to certain ports, the ownership will decide it's not worth to pay the port fees or the docking fees or whatever it is, and they'll just leave the damn boat wherever it is, crew included. I mean, out in on the water for months or years at a time. I mean, guys that have end up living on ghost ships with no power, no fuel, very little food. They have to swim to shore and back to survive. I think you'll remember probably some of you, the explosion in Istanbul at the port a couple of years back. That was the result of crew abandonment. That boat had been left with some volatile minerals on board, and it sat in dock for 4 or 5 years until, bam, blew up. That's what happened. Happens all the time. It's a terrible thing. I read about it in the I think it was the international like maritime freighters trade unions like that. They have this whole hotline set up where you can call from anywhere in the world at any time of day, and they'll hook you up with a lawyer to try and get you out. And most of the times getting you out doesn't happen for 6 months, a year, something like that, and you're stuck on a boat. Good luck.
If you subscribe to the Tropical Authors newsletter, you might have seen the story about the grave robbers in the South Pacific. Looters are dismantling sunken warships, and one of my readers suggested I needed to send Jesse down there. So it might happen. That would be great.
I had heard about that a few years ago. I'm a bit of a World War II naval buff because I had like 100 model ships when I was a kid. And the early cruiser battles between Japan and these multi-allied groups that were just disastrously led. The Dutch and the Australians, the British and the Americans all together, and the Japanese just kicked the crap out of them. But those ships, I was always curious, well, whatever happened to the Dutch De Ruyter and some of these ships? And apparently the results of several of these battles around Indonesia have just been picked clean. They find them, and I thought, well, do they sell them to people who are interested in artifacts and such? But apparently no, they're going for scrap metal. It's just crazy.
And they're finding human remains on the what's left of the ships.
Yeah,
and that's horrible.
That sounds
well.
cool.
Since we're talking about what you use for your books, I'm curious. Some of our viewers may know that Nicholas Harvey has been heavily involved in all manner of racing, and I'm wondering, apart from some of his characters owning motorcycles, will there actually be some race car material? Are there any racetracks in the Caribbean? I'm imagining there are some in Florida, but will we ever see any of that?
Homestead is just right up the road.
Yeah.
Miami's having an F1 race.
That's right.
I think John and I might find ourselves there in the spring. So I don't know. It's people have often asked me, well, you're going to write a racing book, you're going to write a racing book. And it's like, well, it's going to be hard to write a racing book without pissing a lot of people off in racing. There's a lot of things that people don't want uncovered at a race. So I might lose some friends, but I've been trying to think how to involve something at some point, maybe a character, a driver or something, or a team owner in a story without making it too, trite or something. It would, if I can fit it in there, fun. But probably the main thing that's helped me, having an engineering background. I'm not actually a degreed engineer, but I worked as a race engineer for many years, and I managed an engineering, a large engineering group for a NASCAR team. So I kind of think with an engineering mind a lot of the time. So it's really useful when you're doing plots and figuring out, okay, how would this happen? If you're all kinds of different things, the process that you use. But like right now in the book I'm writing, somebody's breaking into somewhere and there's this whole process to it, right? So I lay it out like I'd lay out an engineering project. So it helps. Is that Stephen Becker joining us?
Yeah, Steve, how you doing?
At least trying to join us.
Yeah.
All right.
Move your cursor down the bottom left and turn on your video and mic.
I have to say though,
Nick,
Nick,
coming.
Oh, okay,
Here we go.
There we go.
Hey,
Sorry it's been so late.
Welcome.
How was the drive?
It was long. It took about an extra hour.
Wow.
So, Stephen,
So-
are you currently in Big Pine, or where are you?
I am in Tampa right now.
In Tampa.
We drove back today. It's quite a bit more traffic than I was expecting. But
And
I'm
you
here.
own 2 houses down in the Keys now?
I'm sorry?
You own 2 houses down in the Keys?
Yes.
Oh, man. You're going to be fighting for Mr. Simonton.
I think half of America was in the Keys this weekend, huh, Stephen?
I think so.
Oh my
It was
God.
busy.
It was ridiculous.
It was.
Well, now that you're here, Steve, why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and what you write and what you've got coming up. We've all talked about that at length.
I'm pretty much right in the same genre as everybody else. I've got 3 or 4 different series. My main one is a neighbor of Wayne's character in the Content Keys. That's the Mac Travis series. I have just released a book last week, Wood's Dilemma, and I'm working on a Backwater book, Backwater Squall now, which is a Kurt Hunter mystery, and that'll be out in a couple of months, I guess. So
Excellent.
staying busy.
I went ahead and bought it, but I don't know when I'll get to it.
Yeah, you stay busy reading everybody's stuff. So
I used to read a whole lot. I used to read like maybe 5 novels a month, and now I'm lucky to read 1. And,
Really? Yeah.
I mean, how long? When did you release Snora, Nick?
Back in August, I think.
August. I just finished it last week. Of course, I didn't start it. I didn't start it in August. I don't think I started it until a little bit before Christmas. It's taken me 3 or 4 weeks to read it, though.
Well, it's shocking it took you that long. All that free time you have, man. I mean,
Oh
geez.
yeah, lots of free time.
Wow.
He's only writing 2 things at the moment. You must have had loads of free time.
Yeah, he's got like 2 or 3 hours probably. He's not working on something.
Yeah. The to read
Yeah.
stack just keeps getting bigger. I think Doug Pratt just made a pre-publish available to us in our private group.
He did.
And I'm going to grab that. But it is for me. I'm like Wayne. I'm a slow reader, and so I get through maybe 3 books a month if I'm lucky, more like 2. So to keep up with everything is hard. And then Sullivan goes and writes a freaking epic that's like 1 million pages long. So I read that for like 4 months.
How many words is that, Nick?
It was
It's like
good.
95,000, 100,000,
97.
97,000
I
words.
did not intend. I can't wait to write another 60.
Like a short story.
He had 12,000 words to go for like 6 weeks. Every time I talked to him, yep, I got about another 10 or 12 to go. That's it. And the next week he'd written like 10 more, but he still had 10 or 12 to go.
We'll have to nickname you Tolstoy.
We're getting all kinds of nicknames off of this because Stewart's now Dung Beetle, and so yeah, Sullivan can be Tolstoy, which is one of his characters actually.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
This is right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him so much. Oh, I just spoiled it. Anyone watching this? Yes, maybe he'd be back. I just like doing the accent. So,
Especially Estonian. Don't you like Estonian?
oh, you bastard! Yeah, anyone watching this? So, Angels of the Deep. He puts in a cab driver, and what does he do? He finds one of the most difficult, like Estonians got no connection to most languages. It's like descended from tribes of Ugric people north of Finland, and he has him talking in full-on Estonian. So I'm looking up words. I'm like, how do you say this?
So for all the Estonians watching, I apologize. Nick is not affiliated with Wayne Stinnett or Down Island Press.
Hey, I would say I actually looked into how to move to Estonia when I heard that they made internet like a human right, like everyone in Estonia gets internet. I'm like, this sounds like a country I like. But apparently everyone else was thinking the same thing. It's really difficult to go to Estonia and become an Estonian.
Yeah, do you ever just, when you're writing a book, Nick, make a character you think like, yeah, I really want to do this accent when I narrate You know, I want to put this in there. Like, do you ever do that on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, Nick does. Absolutely. I write characters to try to stump him.
That's my goal now.
Mhm.
If it sucks, it's your own fault. That's the problem. Yeah, I've told them, don't give me someone from Boston. It's going to sound terrible. Oh, well.
It's funny. Kyle Tate does my audiobooks, and I'm real happy with him. I love him. He's a great guy. I have two that were partially set or fully set in St. Bart's, which is a French island, and the last book had several scenes in France. And he's like, he called me terrified. He's like, man, I can't do French. I can't do a French accent. I'm like, come on, it doesn't get any easier than that. Estonian? Come on, give me a break. To coach him through a bunch of pronunciations and all that kind of stuff. But the ultimate product was great, but he definitely dreaded that French accent.
Just talk through your nose and talk down to everyone, then you're fine.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Wayne. Do the disclaimer.
We gotta remember, old Brit Nick here, the French.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're British, man. They already don't like you. I mean, you
They
really
don't
can't
like
help that.
themselves.
Yeah.
The French don't even like themselves. How can anyone like the French?
Go to
I can say
St.
that 'cause I
Bart's.
got
That's
French
all I can say.
Yeah.
My ancestors are French.
Oops.
But see you
I'm
later,
talking
Nick.
about
Bye, Nick.
300 or 400 years ago.
Yeah, good job you grew out of it.
William Richard Stinnett was actually, his name was Stinnett, which is
Stinnett.
French for son of
Yeah.
Stephen, and he was a French Huguenot, and he immigrated to the United States at 16 years of age in 1641.
He ran away from France.
Yeah, and every Stinnett in the country is related, all descended from this one guy, because there's been no other record of any other Stinnett immigrating to the New World.
Wow.
When I started getting into genealogy, I didn't have any work to do. It was all done. People were like, wow, there's every Stinnett in the country is related. So they started connecting all the dots, and so I found lots of cousins.
I bet you're real disappointed by that. You know, you think you're going to have this big task ahead of you, and it's already done.
Yeah.
I
hard
found
to-
out that my mother is related to Matt Groening, who created The Simpsons. And when you go into my mother's family tree, there's the Homer, there's the Margaret, there's a Margaret Wiggum,
Ooh.
and
Really?
there's Homer, Abraham, they're all in there. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, that's another
crazy.
great point. Naming characters, right? Who names characters after people they know, good and bad?
All right, I'll give you a quick funny one. Our book Graceless, coming out on February 2nd, that the four of us wrote, the name Stanley Hyde, which I won't tell everybody who that is, but I was sitting there writing, and I look around me trying to come up with a name, and there's my cat and my dog, Stanley Hyde.
I remember thinking that's a really good villain name. I like
Yeah.
it. Where'd that come from? Probably Jekyll and Hyde, maybe? Stanley Hyde.
That's great.
I pick names at random. I open Facebook when I get to a new character. Here comes the character, and so and so said. And then I go to Facebook. I click the home page. I scroll down 4 times. The first name that I see is the character's name. Then I scroll down 4 more times, and the last name I see is the character's last name, unless I've used them before. But I get a lot of character names that way.
Well, I have to say, narrating your books, I still remember when it all came down to a scene with 5 women whose names all started with S.
Yeah, that
Oh
wasn't
God.
that was not intentional. It just happened that way.
Did you end up changing it, or did you leave it like that?
No,
There
they
was-
were from like vastly different time periods and books. They just all happened to come together, and I was like, "Oh no, I know I'm going to get some of these wrong."
There's Jesse's current wife, Savannah, his first wife, Sandy. Who were the other ones, Jordan?
Sarah.
Huh?
Sarah.
Sarah. Yeah. Then there was that FBI girl. What was her name? They all started with S. And it wasn't intentional, but I wanted to bring them all together. Just to watch Jesse squirm.
I had one book where I used the names of pretty much everyone I went to school with. And you could tell whether I liked you or not. About a character you were.
I did that in Fallen Hunter, my second book. Well, now it's the third, but it was the second at the time. And I just posted on Facebook, hey, who wants to be a character? And a whole bunch of people replied. So I just sorted them into male and female names. And when I came to a new character, I picked the first name on that list, and that's who they became.
That's cool.
I had so many real people in that book. My daughter was one of them, my oldest daughter, Laura, and her ex-husband now. And they were shark researchers. The girl that lived down the street from me and that I graduated with, Sherelle Koshinsky, she's been in every single book since then. And hi, Sherelle. But yeah, she was the only one to make it. After a while, I thought this probably not a good idea to continue using people you know. So one by one, I either killed them off or got done away with them.
Because that's better.
But Sherelle had to stay. She's the computer guru, so she had to stay.
He still has
I did a contest once where I let people, I said, do you want to be in the book? Only one of your names will be in the book. And anyone that applied, I separated the first names and the last names into male and female and last names into another hat. And I just combined names. So I had 4 winners with 2 last names and 2 first names. That was kind of fun.
Oh, that would be, yeah. I had a contest once to name Jesse's airplane, the first one, the Beaver. And I got so many responses to that. I must have had 600 or 700 emails. And probably half of them were Island Hopper. So Island Hopper became the name. It's fun involving your readers like that. They get a kick out of it.
I do. I write live on Twitch 3 days a week with basically, I'll do a short story, and usually like 2 or 3 short stories during the week. So I'll have 15 or 20 people that'll be in the chat watching me talking and stuff. And it's literally, I have a title and a general rough idea of like, all right, I'm going to write a horror story, I'm going to write a thriller story, whatever. And as I'm writing, all of a sudden it'll hit. I'm like, all right, female character, first name, and they'll start throwing names, which is great. So I'm literally writing all the character names. Is the people who are watching me live on Twitch, they're usually just feeding me names of the characters. Or I need a dog. This guy's got a dog, and they're like throwing dog names at me or whatever. And it's fun because it gets the people involved. And then sometimes I'll come up with a character that I'll use like real names, like first names, like Nick, like you do, like first name of this guy and last name of this guy kind of thing. It's a lot of fun because it forces me to just focus and concentrate and literally write off the top of my head without knowing anything about the beginning, middle, or the end of that short story. And you know, some of them are actually good. Some of them actually have sold after that, which is good.
That's cool.
I just saw Armand, on the news just before we came on, had the news on downstairs, and Ernest Hemingway's book. Which one was it, Jordan? The Sun Also Rises. His copyright expired, and it's all the characters, the setting, and everything. We can use them in our books now.
Oh wow!
And it's weird because it was copyrighted he wrote it in 1926. Okay, so maybe he started writing it in 1922, and that's when he copyrighted it.
So does anybody want to write The Sun Also Rises 2 with me?
I'll write it with you under my pen name.
The sun has risen.
Hey Armand, let me ask you. You mentioned Twitch in these short stories. Did you release something in Vela? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, I have I guess it's kind of like a superhero thriller story that I had originally written on Patreon called Plan C, and then I released it on Vela. It actually finished up a couple of weeks ago.
So how let us know, because we have a lot of viewers who are writers as well. And a lot of us have talked about Bella. I don't know. What do you think about Bella?
Billions and billions of dollars is not coming my way from it.
Okay.
I literally will make, so I release another chapter every Friday, and then the last, say, 3 months I release 2 chapters. So I have 47 chapters of the story is up, and you make like $1 a week if you're lucky, but then they give you bonuses every month of like $60 to $100. So I'm like, well, I'm still making I'm making like $101 last month, $1 in sales and $100 in a bonus. And it's a story that's already been released, was already released on my Patreon, that I collected money from that as well. And it's a weird book, and it's not really something that I'm like, I want to release now as part of, along with some of the stuff that I'm writing now. But
And he froze because Amazon just turned him off.
Yeah, he's so.
Did we lose him?
He absolutely.
He was
The
giving away the
Zon
Bella
has struck.
secrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't pay his
Okay.
debt with that
Well,
one.
he's still partly there. His camera's off, but his name's still there.
Well, Stephen, let me ask you, since we're asking things that are of interest to authors right now, you've really made use of Chirp in a way that some of us haven't with the audiobooks. How is that doing? Do you have a plan of how you set them up in terms of pricing? Do you go for Chirps every month?
I go for chirps on every book that I have in there. They're deals every month, and I check off every price that they offer. And I've been getting one like every other month, and those months it works. It's really good revenue. The months that I don't have them, it's quite a bit less than ACX. And then I'll discount the rest in the series to go with that. Do a little bit of BookBub ads that seem to work better for the audiobooks than they do for the regular ebooks.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, and their deals, when you get them, they work really well. They're starting to take 10% now. They're not free anymore.
Oh, is that what the percentage is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
It's better than a flat fee. I mean,
It is better.
You make
There's
more, the
no
better
risk.
it does.
It takes the risk out of it. So
Now, I've got a Chirp coming up next month on the first book in the charity series.
yeah, I think I
And
have
I'm
another
hoping
one.
that does really well.
So
BookBub just released the cost of the new releases for less on thrillers, which was a lot. It was 900 and something. They've dropped it to 700 now. 700.
Oh, good. Now that I paid 1,000, then all right.
They were just waiting for you, Nick.
Timing
Yeah,
is-
I know. We got Nick's money. Drop it.
Yeah, drop it now.
Got it. We got Sullivan.
Yeah. So the regular BookBubs haven't changed, I'm sure, but
Armand, welcome back.
this weather is crazy. It's now 50 degrees here, Nick. It's
Holy shit.
I might have to put some pants on.
I'm almost afraid to look.
Yeah.
We'll send you one of these red plaid shirts.
I guess you're not in Key West, John.
No, I was supposed to be there right now. I was going to fly down yesterday. That didn't work out. Going to leave today on the drive, and it snowed. So
Yeah.
not this time.
hey,
Your
when you
update on traffic doesn't sound too good for tomorrow. So.
Oh, it was bad today. Wow.
It's down to 46 here now. So it's
When you
it's
come
supposed to
through
get down
Key Largo,
into
John.
mid 30s tonight.
Yes,
when you come through Key Largo, John, say if you have time, stop and say hi.
That'd be fun. I was about to say, Steve and Wayne and I hung out at the Smoke and Tuna one time when we were all down there together. Had a
Yeah.
good time. We need to wrangle everybody together for a good little Tropical Authors, hangout in the Keys.
Well, there's that cruise coming up in March that I've been talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little pricey, but this ship is the ultimate so far as, I mean, it's not your regular cruise ship. This is a 4-masted schooner. Really cool ship.
And you've got the whole boat?
We've got not the whole boat. We've got, I think we've got 20 people, and it accommodates 140 passengers.
Yeah.
And it's 400 feet long. It's a really big ship, but you can, the bridge is open 24 hours. You can go up. You don't have to go on a guided tour or anything. You just walk into the bridge. You can climb up to the fighting tops and scan the area for other warships. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you know, the last time I went on a cruise, I died, thanks to God. As tempting as it is, Wayne.
I promise not to kill you on this one.
You got to watch those side excursions. They can be rough.
I know Dan Mason and his wife are going.
Cool.
And quite a few of my readers are going.
Well, Dan's on a cruise right now.
That's right. Yeah, he took
back cruising.
His girl took a real long cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are in overtime now, guys. So
nice.
I guess it's time to head off and get dinner.
Well, but before you kick off completely, do we have any questions from YouTube? I think most of the people that ask the questions are on here right now, but you might have one or two.
There's only been 2 people on YouTube. Well, 3. And well, actually 5, but Jordy silenced 2 of them.
Well, we'll edit this section out.
But no, there's no questions. Just a couple of comments. Kirk Jekyll is watching, and he says, "Good chat, y'all." But that's, I guess that's about it.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me on and off.
Thanks for being here, and for everybody watching, thank you for tuning in. For everybody who's going to watch it once it's uploaded to YouTube, we sure appreciate you. Thanks to my publisher, Down Island Press, Pirate Radio, our sponsor, How Not to Sail, Aurora Publicity, and of course, Tropical Authors. If you're looking for a good beach read, go to tropicalauthors.com, all one word, and you'll find all of us and about 29 more. So that's it. Good night, everybody.